Christopher Pike, James T. Kirk, Jean-Luc Picard, Benjamin Sisko, Catherine Janeway. All great captains from Starfleet. Some of Starfleet's best and finest officers. All of them with amazing careers and a great service record. And the one thing that all of them have in common is the fact that every single one of them had to deal with the Kobayashi Maru. Some would describe it as a test of character, while others would describe it as a test of one's ability to handle life and death situations. It is a training simulation that really puts a person to the test. Their experience, their stress, their character to the test.
You're bothered by your performance on the Kobayashi Maru.
I failed to resolve the situation.
There's no correct resolution. It's a test of character.
So if Admiral Kirk is right and this is a test of character, well then we have some things we need to talk about, especially about some of the captains that have come out of Starfleet. The Kobayashi Maru is supposed to teach officers and cadets how to deal with life and death situations and accept the fact that that they may face no-win scenarios and they may not be able to get out of it. Then we have to question some of the ideas behind this no-win scenario. Think about Ron Tracy as an example. The captain who lost his crew after surveying a planet, the crew beamed back up and was infected by some kind of disease that they didn't know. If they had just stayed on the planet a little while longer, they never would have died. Tracy, on the other hand, stuck on the planet, no way of getting off, apparently, wound up aligning himself with one group of people from the planet and basically trying to set himself up as a power in this world. And when Kirk and crew came to find them, Tracy tried to convince Kirk that they have found a fountain of youth, and if McCoy and the Enterprise crew helps research it, they can bottle it and learn to live forever. This is a man who's gone completely insane. What about Commodore Decker? The man watched his crew get murdered by the Doomsday Machine, and then he basically went insane, became Captain Ahab, and hunted his great white whale, almost destroying the Enterprise in the process, and at the end wound up committing suicide because he felt the guilt of the loss of his crew. What about Ben Maxwell? Here's a man whose family was completely wiped out along with the rest of the colonists on Cethullic 3 when the Cardassians raided that planet. His family was murdered, his young children and his wife, and it took a couple of years, but eventually the man snapped and started going after Cardassian ships. He was of the belief that the Cardassians were arming again, but at the same time he was using that problem as an excuse to go after the Cardassians for the murder of his family. The Starfleet cadets were trained in a Kobayashi Maru simulator to expect life and death situations, but it was a simulator. They knew there was no risk involved, no real harm. But now when real life situation occurs and their human instincts kick in and they panic and run for their lives. I guess the point of the video really is to explain that no matter how much training you have under your belt, even no matter how sophisticated the simulators are or how intense the training and the conditioning is, it cannot change the fact that when the human mind snaps from a traumatic experience, bad things are going to happen and we don't know what the response is going to be.
The Kobayashi Maru scenario frequently wreaks havoc with students and equipment.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the simulator itself and how it teaches that there is a no-win scenario that someone may have to face. At the same time, we've also talked about some of the officers who went through their own personal no-win scenarios and eventually snapped because of the event that took place. Does the fact that these officers snapping, does that mean that the Kobayashi Maru is kind of a flawed test? I don't think it's a flawed test, but there are definitely some issues with it. So tell me what you think about this. Is the Kobayashi Maru a flawed test? Is it an accurate test? Or Is it just that these people react differently in their responses to a no-win scenario? I still believe that just because it's a no-win scenario doesn't mean everyone dies. Well, drop your comments below, let me know. And until the next time, my friends, God bless.